How's it going, guys? JaxJournalism, whatever you want to call me. I'm here again with my first ever actual league content video. It is a quick power rankings of the North American Challenger Series. I kind of wanted to give you guys a little preview of the kind of content I want to be bringing to my channel. That way I can show you guys a little bit and you can kind of give me some stuff in return, some feedback. Let me know what you think, if it should be longer, shorter. I'm kind of going for something short right now. I don't want to put too much on your plate at one time before you get to know me, really. So we're going to start off at the number 5 Challenger team in North America. I'd have to give that one to XDG, and I'm going to give a quick breakdown of what I think of each team and what I think of individual players. I might not cover every lane and every role. I'm sorry, I just don't know if I'll have time for that. So XDG, they're definitely an alright team, alright by Challenger standards, not ready for LCS yet, but that's not a problem. They're a young team. They just picked up Smithy, the old school XDG jungler. The team itself is actually Wasabi Gaming, just got picked up by XDG in this recent month. But Smithy can bring a lot to the team in terms of experience. He can help them probably with just playing under pressure and brings a lot of competitive experience to the table. It seemed like that's something they struggled with, last week when they played playoffs at the Riot Studios. Definitely seemed like they struggled a little bit under the pressure. The thing is, he's a very one-dimensional jungler. He's mechanically skilled, yes, but his macro play, decision-making, his team presence is not the greatest. And in a meta where he'd want to be playing something like Nunu, he's not going to perform on that hero like he would on something like a Lee Sin. That might be a little bit of an issue, but overall good pickup for XDG. The other thing is their bot lane. If they cannot suffer from land jitters, they have a really skilled bot lane. Latman and 10Q seem to be getting caught out quite a bit, seemed a little bit lost in actual team fight and team play this last weekend. But overall, two of some of the most skilled players on the team. 10Q, I think, is one of the best supports in North America right now. With a little bit of refined work to his play, he could be a all-star. He could be a support all-star. And I mean, the guy's young. I think he's like 17, but really good player. So I'm wanting to see more from them. I like the team. They're a likable team. I would definitely check out what they have to offer. Last but not least, iKennyU. He's really good too. Plays a lot of Aurelia, carry-style top laner. But that's all I'm going to say about them. Moving on. Number 4 to Team LolPro. Now, LolPro is a case of super mechanically skilled players, not a ton of experience in terms of like high-pressure competitive play, LAN play, LCS play, but they're just really good, and they seem to meet their downfall at the hands of more experienced teams and teams with better overall team play, which is weird because for a while there, LolPro seemed to have the best synergy, team synergy overall in the Challenger scene. I don't know what happened, but lately their team fighting just isn't up to par, and Heaven Time in the jungle is making some weird decisions. He's a good jungler, but he's kind of like Smithy right now, really needs to work on the decision making, the shot calling, and his macro play, because he needs to be a rock for LolPro, and if he can be, they will excel because they've got super good laners. Haunter can play anything in the meta, and he'll do well. Laud is the most explosive mid laner in the Challenger scene. One of the best mid laners. I personally rate him as the #1 mid laner in the Challenger series, but he's definitely an explosive player. He does have his losses now and then, which are just as explosive as the wins, but a really good player. And their bot lane of Signature and Patoy, two actually old school names, they've only been playing together for about 2.5 weeks, and they're already hanging with the other bot lanes. So if Heaven Time can become this rock for LolPro, they can do really good things. Until then, they're just going to be pretty good. Number 3 moving up is Curse Academy. Now, Curse Academy, Bunny Fufu was kind of exiled to Curse Academy after Curse picked up Xpecial. Can't blame Curse for that one, though. Xpecial's a great player. But Bunny Fufu is on Curse Academy, as well as Saint Vicious, old school player, which I'm sure everybody knows who Saint Vicious is. People kind of question how well he was going to do once he came out of retirement. Doing really good so far, to be honest. Curse Academy does rely on him a lot for wins, though. So if Saint has a bad game, Curse Academy has a bad game. That's generally not the best scenario in the world. But he's proven, he's in form. He can definitely take this team to good places. Look for them in the promotion tournament. They've got their spot locked in. They're looking pretty good. Their bot lane of Impactful and Bunny Fufu. Impactful is so underrated as an AD carry. I don't know why. This guy, you'll see them getting bullied early in lane by something like a Nami Cog, and Bunny Fufu will be on Zillion. Weak laner. Bunny happens to be probably one of the best Zillions in North America. And then you look at the mid game after all that bullying happens, and Impactful's like 4-0, and you're like, when did this happen? But this guy, he finds leads and he takes them, and their bot lane as a whole is very good. Probably the strongest part of their team. And the last thing I want to touch on is Keen, recent acquisition by Curse Academy. He's been playing with the team for about 2 weeks now as a starter in the mid lane, replacing ManCloud. The guy's good. Definitely not bulletproof. He suffered some defeats at the hand of Slushy this last week, but definitely showed he deserves the spot. He's a great laner. I think with more time with the team, he'll do some good things as well. That's all I really want to talk about for Curse Academy. Moving up to the number 2 spot is Team 8, and a lot of people might want Team 8 as the number 1 spot in the power rankings right now, because of course you've got the Team 8 hype, but realistically, Team 8 has been inconsistent, and they've always been a good team. We would have probably seen them in the LCS by now if it had not been for LMQ, who stopped their really good kind of just run back in the day when LMQ came over and was qualifying for this recent split of the LCS. But in recent months and during this split, while Team 8 was competing in the challenger scene, they did not look dominant. And you kind of have to be dominant. If you want an LCS spot, you can't be good by challenger standards. You have to be great by challenger standards. And Team 8 has been good. That being said, they really stepped it up. They seem to be back in form, bot lane in particular. Dodo 8 and Maple Street. Dodo has this Kiwi Kid-esque roam style where he will be all over the map, leaving Maple to 2v1 or 1v1 against the enemy top laner. And Maple was kind of dropping the ball a little bit in his solo scenarios, and they generally weren't winning their lane 2v2, well, at least not by a huge margin. And they really kind of turned that around. It seems like Maple and Dodo are on top of their game, which is good because you got people like Slushy, who showed that even though people might sleep on him, if you don't ban his Yasuo, you are going to have a bad time. Like, Scar calls this guy the best mid laner in the Challenger Series. Obviously, everybody has their own different opinions. But, I mean, if Scar is calling you the best mid laner in the Challenger scene, then I think you can think pretty highly of yourself. I think pretty highly of Slushy. A lot of people sleep on him, but give him the right champion, give him the right matchup, and he's going to go off. One name that you've probably heard a lot recently is Cali Trolls, California Trolls in the top lane. You kind of knew this guy was really good when Ackerman was coming over off of a Season 3 second place finish, and Cali Trolls is like going even with him. I remember particularly a game where Cali Trolls was beating up on Ackerman as pre-rework Nidalee, and it was like Nidalee versus Renekton. So you've got this old school Nidalee that you would expect to get pushed in by a Renekton when Renekton was in his prime, and Cali Trolls is like, rolling all over this guy. So Cali Trolls has always been a solid laner. He can play anything in the meta, above and beyond par. But he also has these flex picks and these unorthodox picks that he will roll over you with. If you were paying attention to last week's games, you probably saw his fizz, which is really scary. And I said I can use a carry top laner, not like Cali Trolls. Cali Trolls is the shot caller. I got a cat in the background, but Cali Trolls is the shot caller, and he is a hard carry for Team 8. So now that bot lane is in form, Porpoise Pops has always been solid. He's kind of that rock that Heaven Time needs to be, and Team 8 is looking really good. If they can remain consistent and put up the kind of play that they showed us this last week, that could be enough to move them into the #1 spot. As of right now, I'm not totally convinced, but they're doing good things. And last but not least, #1 in the North American Challenger Series right now is, no surprise, it's Team Coast. If you ask people now, they might be kind of questionable on whether or not Team Coast is undisputed #1. But if you asked 2 weeks ago, hands down, it would have been like 99% to Coast. The thing is, Coast did not have a great week last week. Let's see if I remember correctly. They lost 2-0 to Team 8, but Team 8's kind of on fire right now, so you can't fault them too bad for that. But they took 3rd place overall. And, third place overall from the team that won the first split of the Challenger Series, that's definitely a downgrade, but I think it just wasn't their week. And they still do have some things that they could work on, but in general, Team Coast have always had it together. They've got LCS experience, they've got solid laners, and they've generally just got good team play. They kind of came on the scene and they team fought well. They were very smart with trading objectives, and you kind of were like, what? But, Chaos coached them for a while, so that could definitely be a factor in their success. But Team Coast, I think, is still a very good team regardless of their 3rd place finish. And it's going to, like I said, it's going to take a little bit more consistency and a little bit more time for Team 8 to convince me that they deserve the #1 spot. Now, the flaws with Team Coast pretty much lie in their mid lane and their jungle. Bot lane is great. Sheep and Mash Me. Sheep has the LCS experience. He played great on XDG. The bot lane themselves actually go way back. And Mash Me is the carry that Sheep kind of got better with, Sheep was good, but then playing with Mash Me on a consistent basis took him to the next level. And Mash Me is a hyper carry player like none other. His Vayne and his Twitch are 2 of the scariest things that you could be playing against if you're another Challenger team. So he warrants a lot of bans, and you don't want him on a hyper carry at all. The bot lane is good. Rux is generally solid, although he's a lot more prone to tilt if he starts getting behind in lane. Whereas somebody like Haunter might not necessarily win his lane, might die once in lane, but will still play the role that is needed. His teleports will be on point, and he will team fight correctly. Rux, if he dies once in lane, could very well spiral downward into more solo kill deaths, just terrible teleports, and a lack of a solid team fight presence. So Rux is a bit of a liability, but overall pretty strong. What I want to talk about with the problems with Santorin and Golden Glue are Golden Glue is just a proficient mid laner. In my completely candid, honest opinion, Golden Glue can play Orianna very well. He can play Yasuo very well. And I believe he plays a pretty good Zed. Overall, though, he's good by Challenger standards. And like I was saying earlier, you can't be good by Challenger standards. You have to be great by Challenger standards. And these guys, they already have their promotion spot locked in. So there's no more kiddie business. They can be king of the challengers, but they don't want to be. They want to be in the LCS. So Golden Glue is going to have to step it up a little bit. He's going to have to win more than like 50% of his lanes. Then Santorin, he his overall presence is pretty good, but his champion pool, it's kind of like a European junglers thing. His champion pool suffers. The guy plays Nunu, and he plays Lee Sin. And his Nunu and his Lee Sin are both great, but he lacks a lot of depth in terms of actual champion pool. If he works on his champ pool a little bit, I think he'll be fine, because honestly, he's a good player. He, like I said, his presence is good. Mechanically, he's sound. But it's just, he needs to be able to offer more to the team, I think. And that's not so much a huge complaint as much as it's kind of being nitpicky. But, you know, in League of Legends, every team, what do they say? I want to be the best. I want to go to Worlds. So realistically, you got to judge them by those standards too. And this is a little bit longer of a video than I kind of anticipated, but I'm done. Those are my top 5 North American Challenger scene teams. I might do one for EU if this gains any traction, or maybe if I just have some time, because I want to be getting some content out for you guys. I really want to be doing as much as I can. I want to be getting the feedback, getting the criticism, kind of just putting stuff out there. So just as a quick recap, it was Team Coast takes number 1, Team 8 is number 2, Curse Academy is number 3, Team LolPro is number 4, and XDG is number 5. And if you guys have any, if you want to add to the conversation, if you maybe disagree with me, if you have some things you want to point out, let me know in the comments or on Twitter or anything like that. I'm going to cut it off here, but you guys have a great day, and definitely hit me with that feedback.